الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. This is the second lesson on Surah Al-Fath. We are going to cover ayat from 10 to 17 inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الذين يبايعونك إنما يبايعون الله يد الله فوق أيديهم فمن نكث فإنما ينكث على نفسه ومن أوفى بما عاهد عليه الله فسيؤتيه أجرا عظيما. Indeed, those who pledge allegiance to you, O Muhammad, they are actually pledging allegiance to Allah. The hand of Allah is over their hands. So he who breaks his words only breaks it to the detriment of himself, and he who fulfills that which he has promised Allah, he will give him a great reward. Now let us take one ayah each time. Before that ayah, just a summary of what we have said last time, that this surah, Surah Al-Fath, which begins with Inna fatahna laka fatham mubina, we have given you a manifest victory. And that victory, is it the conquest of Makkah? And we said that this surah was revealed after the Prophet ﷺ was returning from Hudaybiyah, when he was not allowed to offer Umrah. And there was an agreement or a treaty which was made with the mushrikeen of Makkah that they are going to come the following year. So on his way back to Al-Madinah, at a place called Qura'ul Ghamim, this surah was revealed, giving the good news to the Prophet ﷺ that we have given you a great victory. So according to most of the Sahaba, this great victory is the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, because it has opened the door for the Muslim for dawah. From 6 years to 8 years, the conquest of Makkah, within 2 years, so many people came and entered into Islam. So many delegations, from each and every corner of Arabia, they came and they became Muslim. So it was a real victory, though it led to a greater victory, which is the conquest of Makkah. Before this ayah, which is the ayah of Bay'ah, the oath of allegiance, there was this ayah about the Prophet ﷺ. Inna arsalnaka shahidan wa mubashiran wa nadhira. We have sent you as a witness, as a person with good news, as a person with warning. لِتُؤْمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ وَتُعَزِّرُوهُ وَتُوَقِّرُوهُ وَتُسَبِّحُوهُ بُكْرَةً وَأَصِيلًا. So that you believe in Allah and His Messenger, and honor Him, and respect Him, and exalt Him, means Allah, morning and afternoon. And we have said last time that there are 3 actions which are mentioned here after the faith in Allah and the Prophet. لِتُؤْمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. لِتُؤْمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ, to believe in Allah and His Prophet. Now after that, 3 characters or 3 actions are mentioned. 2 for the Prophet, وَتُعَزِّرُوهُ وَتُوَقِّرُوهُ. You have to honor him, and you have to respect him, you have to support him. And the third one is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَتُسَبِّحُوهُ بُكْرَةً وَأَصِيلًا, and glorify him in the morning, in the evening. Now this type of pronouns, some of them going back to Allah and the other going back to the Prophet ﷺ, that is not a new thing in the Quran. And we have to understand from the context that Iman with Allah and the Prophet is mentioned, and after that 3 things are given. one thing is only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nobody can dispute about that. And that is تُسَبِّحُوهُ بُكْرَةً وَأَسِيلًا. You have to do tasbih of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the morning, in the evening. And the other two, وَتُعَزِّرُوهُ وَتُوَقِّرُوهُ, they are left for the Prophet, because that is the haqq of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to respect him and to support him. Because the word تُعَزِّرُوهُ وَتُوَقِّرُوهُ, normally in Al-Quran they are used for the prophets and even for the Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are not used for Allah. So this is why those people who say no, all three characters are for Allah, that does not fit the context. So let us take this ayah of Surah Al-Ma'idah. See here the word azzara, azzartumuhum is mentioned. For whom? For the prophets. وَلَقَدْ أَخَذَ اللَّهُ مِيثَاقَ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ وَبَعَثْنَا مِنْهُمُ اثْنَيْ عَشَرَ نَقِيبًا وَقَالَ اللَّهُ إِنِّي مَعَكُمْ لَئِنْ أَقَمْتُمُ الصَّلَاةَ وَآتَيْتُمُ الزَّكَاةَ وَآمَنْتُمْ بِرُسُلِي. See, وَآمَنْتُمْ بِرُسُلِي, and you believe in Allah, in my messengers. وَعَزَّرْتُمُوهُمْ, and then you supported them. So this word ta'zir is used for the messengers of Allah. وَأَقْرَضْتُمُ اللَّهَ قَرْضًا حَسَنًا لَوْكَفِّرَنَّ عَنْكُمْ سَيِّئَاتِكُمْ وَلَأُدْخِلَنَّكُمْ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ فَمَنْ كَفَرَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ مِنْكُمْ فَقَدْ ضَلَّ سَوَاءَ السَّبِيلِ. And take another ayah of Surah Al-A'raf, 157. The first one is Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayah number 12. And this one, Al-A'raf, ayah number 157. That is in the praise of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. الذين يتبعون الرسول النبي الأمي الذي يجدونه مكتوبا عندهم في التوراة والإنجيل يأمرهم بالمعروف وينهاهم عن المنكر ويحل لهم الطيبات ويحرم عليهم الخبائث ويضع عنهم إصرهم والأغلال التي كانت عليهم فالذين آمنوا به وعزروه ونصروه واتبعوا النور الذي أنزل معه أولئك هم المفلحون. Again, فالذين آمنوا به, those people who believed in the Prophet, وعزروه ونصروه, and then they supported him, they helped him. So it shows very clearly that this word ta'zir, that is used for the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is the meaning in Surah Al-Fath as well. That is one thing. And the second thing, though we have explained this ayah last time, but let us take it once again with some new additions. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُبَايِعُونَكَ إِنَّمَا يُبَايِعُونَ اللَّهِ. This oath of allegiance is mentioned twice in this surah. Here, and then comes the ayah number 18. لَقَدْ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ إِذْ يُبَايِعُونَكَ تَحْتَ الشَّجَرَةِ فَعَلِمَ مَا فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ فَأَنزَلَ السَّكِينَةَ عَلَيْهِمْ وَأَثَابَهُمْ فَتْحًا قَرِيبًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with those people who were making an oath of allegiance on your hand under the tree. So that was the oath of allegiance, or al-bay'ah, which was done under a certain tree after the rumor spread that Sayyidina Usman has been killed. So Prophet ﷺ took this oath of allegiance not to run away at all. It means that if we are to be fought back, if we are in a combat, then we are not going to run away, we will stand. So this bay'ah is mentioned twice. So the second bay'ah, in ayah number 18, I am going to explain it, that will be our next lesson, all what happened at that time. But here, there is a general discussion about the oath of allegiance. When we enter into Islam, you are giving your hand in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the bay'ah. Each person, when he says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, that is a bay'ah with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling here that those people who does this bay'ah, they are in a bay'ah with you, O Prophet, they are making bay'ah with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yadullahi fawqa aydihim. Allah's hand is upon their hands. Allah's hand is upon their hands. So it means that actually the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam took bay'ah by hand. He used to take it by hand. You put your hand in the hand of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and then you say, I give you the oath of allegiance, ubayu'uka ala alla nafirra min al-maut, that we are not going to run away from the death. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it something very supreme. Allah's hand is upon their hands. So it means that this bay'ah is not an ordinary thing. You are making bay'ah with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And another thing which we understand, that if the word hand, which is in Arabic yad, is mentioned here, yadullah, Allah's hand, fawqa aydihim, upon their hand, we must understand that maybe in the meaning they are the same word, but when we use it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is totally different when we use it for the human beings. All the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some attributes you might think that they are common. Yes, they are common. وَجَعَلْنَاهُ سَمِيعًا بَصِيرًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about the man that we have made him Sami', listens. Basir, he sees. And the whole Quran is about these two characters for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who was Sami'ul Basir. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listens, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees. So we say yes, both these attributes are common between Allah and the human being, but there is a great difference. What is your sama? What is your hearing? Do you hear what is happening outside? All the voices, all the sounds outside, no, you can't hear anything. Even if there is no loudspeaker, you must not hear my voice. What do you see? Can you see on your back? I can't see on my back. You can't see on your back. This is your sight. Limited. Very much limited. Beyond the wall. Can I see beyond the wall? No, I can't. So it means that our sight, our hearing power, that is all limited. Allah's hearing, Allah's sight, that is unlimited. There is no comparison between the two. In the same way, there is nothing wrong when we say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned hand with him. Yes, but Allah's hand is just like his own self. When we say Allah, we have something in our mind with Allah. But can you compare it with a human being? You can't. In the same way, when we say hands of Allah, you can't compare it with the hand of the human beings. But you can't negate it. We say, yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Yadullah, Allah's hand. We believe that Allah has mentioned hands for him, but they don't resemble the hands of the creatures at all. This should be clarified. فَمَنْ نَكَسَ فَإِنَّمَا يَنْكُسُ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ. The person who breaks that pledge, he is damaging himself. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not damaged. You damage yourself by going against that bay'ah. وَمَنْ أَوْفَى بِمَا عَاهَدَ عَلَيْهُ اللَّهَ فَسَيُؤْتِيهِ أَجْرًا عَظِيمًا. And the person who fulfills what he has covenanted, he fulfills the pledge with Allah, فَسَيُؤْتِيهِ أَجْرًا عَظِيمًا. Allah is going to give him a great, great reward. Now here, in the reading itself, there is something strange. وَمَنْ أَوْفَى بِمَا عَاهَدَ عَلَيْهُ اللَّهِ. You see, this dhamma upon this pronoun ha. Normally it should be kasra. Alayhi. After ala, there should be a kasra upon the pronoun ha. So you say alayhi. Everywhere in Quran is alayhi. But here, the reading from the Prophet ﷺ till now, that is with dhamma. وَمَنْ أَوْفَى بِمَا عَاهَدَ عَلَيْهُ اللَّهَ عَلَيْهُ اللَّهَ. We read like this because it is how it has been reported. There is a zamma on this ha. There are some reasons behind it as well, that it becomes easy upon the tongue when you read in this way. But in the same way, in Surah Al-Kahf, وَمَا أَنْسَانِيهُ إِلَّا الشَّيْطَانِ. وَمَا أَنْسَانِيهُ. Again there is Zamma upon the pronoun ha. So that is the recitation which came from the Prophet ﷺ to all the Qurra, the readers of Al-Quran. But what I wanted to say is a very interesting story. And it is related to the pronunciation of the ayat of Al-Quran, how it is read. That is also a miracle from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the reading itself. And this story is by Dr. Hamidullah. Dr. Hamidullah was a great scholar, and he passed almost all his life in Paris. And he was a great Da'iyah, and so many people entered into Islam, French people entered into Islam because of him. I happened to visit him once in his small flat in Paris. Rahimahullah, may Allah have mercy upon him. So he has related this story that a famous musician, French musician, he is a top musician and a singer. He was taken by some of his friends to a gathering of recitation of Al-Quran, where there were very great scholar, very great Qari of Al-Quran reading Al-Quran. You see how Qari Abdul Basit used to read Al-Quran. So people are as if they are under spell when they listen to the recitation of Qari Abdul Samad, in the same way Qari Al-Husari and many other Qurra. This person did not know what is this recitation, but he just listened to the voices. He said, oh, they are all tuned with music and highly tuned with music. And he used to interrupt again and again, asking his companion, who is this musician? What he is reading? And he says to him, keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet. He interrupted 2-3 times, but he was told, keep quiet. When the recitation came to an end, they told him this was Quran. What is Quran? That is our book, our divine book, the book of Islam, Al-Quran. And this person is a Qari, he was just reading Al-Quran only. He said, I know the music and I know the all the different tunes of the music. And in these recitations I found the best tunes which I have ever heard. And I did not know that this is Quran. If that is Quran and you say that it is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then it is haqq. Then it is right, then it is haqq. This led to him to become Muslim. He entered into Islam. So Dr. Hamidullah says that I appointed a person to teach him Al-Quran, to let him read Al-Quran. So he started reading Al-Quran. One day he himself and his sheikh came, the person, and he said that now this person, this musician, he got some doubts about Al-Quran. What is the doubt in your mind? So the man said that I have been reading with my sheikh, with my teacher, and it is all tuned as I know, but in one surah, I don't think that it is tuned. And now I got this doubt that why it is happening. If you are saying that it is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it must be tuned completely. So what is that ayah? He read Surah An-Nasr. إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحُ وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا, and stops here. فَصَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرْهُ إِنَّهُ كَانَ تَوَّابًا. He said the doubt is in my mind that when you read in this way, إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحُ وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا, and you stop there. And then you start, فَصَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ. No, it is not tuned. There is something missing here. It should not be like this. Because by stopping at afwaja, according to my knowledge, he says, according to my laws of music, there should be no stop here. it should be joined with the next verse. So that was the problem with him. So Dr. Hamidullah, he said, though I didn't know anything about the music at all, and I myself, I was thinking what to answer, how to answer. Then I remembered that in my childhood, when I was reading Al-Quran with my Qari, with my Shaykh, he told me once when I was reading this surah that you don't stop at afwaja, but you join it with the next word. Even when you read Al-Quran, open your mushaf, you will find afwaja at the end of this ayah. Between the two ayah there is a circle, and on the circle it is written la. La, which means that you have to, then you can join both of them. So when he read it by joining them, then it became like this. إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحُ وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا فَسَبِّحْ أَفْوَاجًا فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ إِنَّهُ كَانَ تَوَّابًا. He said, there is a joining here. Oh, the man started jumping. He said, oh, this is what I was looking for. That there should be no stop here, according to my rules of the music. He was so happy at that time that he said, oh, all my doubts are now shattered and gone away. But I wanted to say that Quran is a miracle from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in its meaning, in its eloquence. And even, we did not know about this. We don't know. We are never going to compare it with any music tunes as well. But here there is a person who became Muslim because of that, because he was a musician and he found that all the different voices of Quran, they are akin, they go along with the tunes of the music as well. So that is something new which I wanted to tell you. Now let us come to next ayah, ayah number 11. سيقول لك المخلفون من الأعراب شغلتنا أموالنا وأهلنا فاستغفر لنا يقولون بألسنتهم ما ليس في قلوبهم قل فمن يملك لكم من الله شيئا إن أراد بكم ضرا أو أراد بكم نفعا بل كان الله بما تعملون خبيرا. Those who remain behind of the Bedouins will say to you, our properties and our families occupied us, so ask forgiveness for us. They say with their tongues what is not within their hearts. Say, then who could prevent Allah at all if He intended for you harm or intended for you benefit? Rather, ever is Allah of what you do aware. Now this surah was revealed, as I said, on his retreat to Al-Madinah. So it means that this ayah is telling the Prophet ﷺ, when you reach Medina, those people who were left behind. I told you the last time that when Prophet ﷺ saw this vision, that he is performing Umrah, so he asked all the people to accompany him. Let us go for Umrah. Because he believes in his vision. Only these people, al-munafiqun, some munafiqun hypocrites, they say, oh, we are busy, we can't go with you. Actually, they were thinking that these people, if they go to Makkah, they will not come back because they would be killed. So this ayah was telling the Prophet ﷺ, when you will go back and they will see you safe and sound returning back, they will say, oh, they will bring you excuses. Why did not they join you? So this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the Prophet. When these are mukhallafun, these people who were left behind, because the word mukhallaf means the person who is left behind. Actually, they are the people who left behind, who themselves wanted to leave behind. But because when you take one action For example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in Surah, فَلَمَّا زَاغُوا أَزَاغَ اللَّهُ قُلُوبَهُم. فَلَمَّا زَاغُوا, when they turned away from the right path, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them turn away from the right path. So it means that they wanted to leave behind, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them leave behind. So this is how they are called al-mukhallafun, those people who were left behind, made to leave behind. Min al-Arab, from the Bedouins people. And they were not actually the people living in Al-Madinah, living in the company of the Prophet ﷺ. No, they have come from different areas, so Islam was not established in their minds. What excuse they are going to place? شَغَلَتْنَا أَمْوَالُنَا وَأَهْلُونَا. We were made busy because of our properties, farming, cattle. وَأَهْلُونَا, because of our families. فَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَنَا, so ask forgiveness for us. يَقُولُونَ بِأَلْسِنَتِهِمْ مَا لَيْسَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ. They say with their tongues what is not in their heart. What was in their heart? What was in their heart? This excuse was not in their heart. In their heart was, why did not they join you? Thinking that you are not going to come back. So why should we go? Why should we destroy ourselves? That was in their mind. قُلْ فَمَنْ يَمْلِكُ لَكُمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ شَيْئًا إِنْ أَرَادَ بِكُمْ ضَرًّا أَوْ أَرَادَ بِكُمْ نَفْعًا. Then say to them, when they are going to give you this excuse, say to them, who is going to save you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if He wanted harm to you or if He wanted some benefit to you? Benefit, yani bring you some war booty, that is benefit. Harm, that you are killed in the battlefield or you are injured. So if Allah wanted to do that, who can stop Him from doing that? بَلْ كَانَ اللَّهُ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ خَبِيرًا. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was well aware of what you have been doing. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when you will be back in Al-Madinah, these people will come, they will bring you a lot of excuses, so this is your answer. بَلْ ظَنَنْتُمْ أَنْ لَنْ يَنْقَلِبَ الرَّسُولُ وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِلَىٰ أَهْلِهِمْ أَبَدًا وَزُيِّنَ ذَلِكَ فِي قُلُوبِكُمْ وَظَنَنْتُمْ ظَنَّ السَّوْءِ وَكُنْتُمْ قَوْمًا بُورًا. But you thought that the messenger and the believers would never return to their families, ever. And that was made pleasing in your hearts. And you assumed an assumption of evil and became a people ruined. So, you have to tell them the truth. And the Quran is telling the Prophet ﷺ that you have to tell them the truth. You people, you were not occupied because of your families or because of your farming and cattle. No. Bal zanantum, no. But you were thinking that the Prophet and the believers will never come back to their families at all. وَزُيَّنَ ذَلِكَ فِي قُلُوبِكُمْ. And this thing becomes muzayyan, pleasing to your minds, to your hearts. وَظَنَنْتُمْ ظَنَّ السَّوْءِ. And you got a one. As you know, zan is speculation. You got a very bad zan about the believers, that Allah is not going to help them. وَكُنْتُمْ قَوْمًا بُورًا. And you are a people to be destroyed. Bura, halka, you are the people to be destroyed completely, to be ruined completely. وَمَنْ لَمْ يُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ فَإِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا لِلْكَافِرِينَ سَعِيرًا. And the person who does not believe in Allah and the Prophet, فَإِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا لِلْكَافِرِينَ سَعِيرًا. So we have prepared for the disbelievers a blaze in a hellfire. Now this type of ayat, that is, they are very clear that after the coming of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, just belief in the previous prophet is not enough. Because some people, they take the ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah, which says that, which has mentioned those people who believe in Allah and the Jews and the Christians and As-Sabi'in, those people who are worshippers of the stars. among them who believe in Allah and the last day and does good deeds, فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. So there would be no grief upon them, no fear upon them. And it means they would be in Jannah, in the paradise. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَالَّذِينَ هَادُوا وَالنَّصَارَى وَالصَّابِئِينَ من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وعمل صالحا فلهم أجرهم عند ربهم ولا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. That is the ayah. So from this ayah they say that it is very clear that all different groups, like the believers, like the Jews, like the Christians, like the Sabi'in, the star worshippers, they all will be in paradise only with two conditions: Iman billah and the last day. Man amana billahi wal yawmil akhir. The second condition, wa amila salihan, and they do good deeds. So if these two conditions are found, they would be in Jannah as well. So this is how they take that interpretation. But this ayah is very clear. وَمَنْ لَمْ يُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ, the person who does not believe in Allah and His Prophet. So you have to believe in the Prophet. فَإِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا لِلْكَافِرِينَ سَعِيرًا. So we have prepared Jahannam Sa'ir for the kuffar people. So after the advent of the Prophet ﷺ, before the Prophet, who was the last before the Prophet? Isa ﷺ. So in the times of Isa, what was the kalima to enter into Islam? Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Isa Rasulullah. And what was the kalima during the time of Musa ﷺ? Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Musa Rasulullah. But after them, now the kalima is Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasul. You have to believe in the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But as for the ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah, you have to take it in that context, that this ayah is telling us that don't think that by joining one group, like the group of the believers, or the group of the Jews, or the group of the Nasara, Christian, or the group of Sabi'in, and in Surah Al-Hajj, Al-Majus, Median, by joining one group and just doing some good actions, you will, it says that by joining any group, you will get your ticket to Al-Jannah. No. Even if you join any group, Iman in Allah, Iman in the hereafter, and good actions are required. So here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in this ayah the two ends of Iman. In the beginning, what is in the beginning of Iman? Iman billah, Iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is the last thing in Iman? Iman bil akhir, bil yawm al akhir. So He has mentioned, Allah has mentioned the two ends of Iman in this ayah. It means it covers all other things which are in between. So what is the total Iman? What is the real Iman? Amantu billahi wa malaikatihi wa kutubihi wa rusulihi wal yawm al akhir wal qadari khairihi wa sharrihi min Allah ta'ala wal ba'si ba'da al maut. So all other issues of Iman are covered in between these two major issues. This is the real meaning of that ayah. And we must understand that after our Prophet ﷺ, having Iman in him is required. And whatever is said about not believing in the Prophet ﷺ, and still you will get your Jannah, that is not true. Let us take this ayah of Surah Al-Jinn as well. In this surah, it says very clearly, Surah Al-Jinn and ayah number 23. وَمَنْ يَعْصِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَإِنَّ لَهُ نَارَ جَهَنَّمَ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أَبَدًا وَمَنْ يَعْصِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ. In Surah Al-Fath, the person who does not believe in Allah and the Prophet. And here it says, the person who disobeys Allah and His Prophet, فَإِنَّ لَهُ نَارَ جَهَنَّمَ, he got the hellfire, خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أَبَدًا, they will remain therein forever. So there should be no ambiguity about this issue at all. Iman is only complete when you believe in Allah and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Next ayah number 14. وَلِلَّهِ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ يَغْفِرُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيُعَذِّبُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ وَكَانَ اللَّهُ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا. And to Allah belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth. He forgives whom He wills and punishes whom He wills, and ever is Allah forgiving and merciful. Now this type of ayat as well, where it is repeated, وَلِلَّهِ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ, for Allah belongs whatever is in the heaven and the earth. And this ayah, وَلِلَّهِ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, and to Allah belongs the kingdom of the heaven and the earth. What does it show? Just to remind you that in this world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, we might have given you some power, some authority. So here there is a king, here there is a king, here there is a president. All countries, they got some authority. Either the authority of supreme authority, either as a king or a president or a prime minister or a dictator. That is for test only. But you must remember that all that kingdom of the whole universe belongs to whom? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why on the day of judgment, it would be announced when every person, because of blowing in the trumpet, everybody would be dead. Nobody would be alive. At that time, there would be this question, لِمَنِ الْمُلْكُ الْيَوْمِ, to whom belongs the kingdom today? And what is the answer? لِلَّهِ الْوَاحِدِ الْقَحَّارِ, only for Allah, who is one, who is qahhar, who is dominant. So these ayat always show that, always remember that you are given just an authority, a very temporary authority in this world. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to test you. That is for test, for a trial. Don't be very proud of that authority. Don't try to become arrogant because of that authority. And this is what happened throughout the history, where there are people like Pharaoh, Fir'aun, who said, Ana Rabbukumul A'la, I am your supreme Lord. And the same thing is found in the mentality of so many people in authority nowadays. Those who think that we are the only power, and whatever we want to do, we can do. Astaghfirullah, I was reading very recently a statement of Henry Kissinger. When I read it, I was totally frightened. This man is saying that now the time has come that the map of Middle East will be changed completely. And what is going to happen? I don't want to repeat his words. You are frightened when you read his mind that there would be no Islam left at all. There would be no Muslim left at all. Everything would be devastated. And it would be just a supreme power left with its satellite power, as you know, in the Middle East, with its satellite power authority. Now these people, they think that all the kingdom of the heaven and the earth belong to them, so they can do what they want. They think that there is no one who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is managing this world. They don't think so. They only trust upon their own power. And that is a fallacy. They are living, as we say, that in a fool paradise. This kingdom belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes, He gives respite to some people for a certain time. But when they exceed their limits, then the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes them back, crushes them back. And this type of iman is required, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala He is the real supreme power. يَغْفِرُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيُعَذِّبُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. He forgives whom He likes, He punishes whom He likes. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ghafoor, forgiving and merciful. Next ayah gives another statement of those people who were left behind, what they are going to say after that. سيقول المخلفون إذا انطلقتم إلى مغانم لتأخذوها ذرونا نتبعكم يريدون أن يبدلوا كلام الله قل لن تتبعونا كذلكم قال الله من قبل فسيقولون بل تحسدوننا بل كانوا لا يفقهون إلا قليلا. Those who remain behind will say, when you set out towards the war booty to take it, let us follow you. They wish to change the words of Allah. Say, never will you follow us. Thus did Allah say before. So they will say, rather, you envy us. But in fact, they were not understanding except a little. Now the next statement of those people who were left behind, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already said to the Prophet that when you will go back to Medina, now these people who were left behind, munafiqeen, they will say to you, when you were about to go for another expedition, what was the next expedition? After Hudaybiyah, it was the conquest of Khaybar. Conquest of Khaybar, Ghazwat Khaybar. Sulh al-Hudaybiyah, the Treaty of Hudaybiyah in the end of the year 6th, Zulqaidah, year 6th. After that the Prophet came back, and then 7th year started. In Muharram 7th, he went to Khaybar. And that was the conquest of Khaybar. And as you know that in the conquest of Khaybar, they got a lot of war booty, a lot of gains which the Prophet and the believers got. Now what is going to happen? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already told the Prophet that these people will come to you, and when you were about to go for the other expedition, which is the expedition of Khaybar, they would say to you, Zaruna nattabi'kum. Please allow us to go with you as well. Because now they think that they are going to have some gains, war booty, so let us have this war booty as well. When they say, Zaruna nattabi'kum, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Yuriduna an yubaddilu kalam Allah. Yuriduna an yubaddilu kalam Allah. They want to change the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What was the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala right in the beginning of this ayah? These people, about them He said, we have given you this victory to let the believer enter into Jannah, men and women, and وَيُعَذِّبَ الْمُنَافِقِينَ وَالْمُنَافِقَاتِ والمشركين والمشركات الضالين بالله ظن السوء عليهم دائرة السوء وغضب الله عليهم ولعنهم وأعد لهم جهنم وساءت مصيرا. That is the ayah number 5. To punish these hypocrites, men and women, and mushrikeen, men and women, الضالين بالله ظن السوء, who got such a bad speculation about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah is not going to help these believers at all. This what is mentioned here in this ayah, yuriduna an yubaddilu kalam Allah. They want to change the words of Allah, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already said. No, the wording of Allah is going to come true. قُلْ لَن تَتَّبِعُونَا. Say to them, لَن تَتَّبِعُونَا. You are not going to follow us at all. لَن تَتَّبِعُونَا. In the conquest of Khaybar, tell them, you will never follow us. كَذَلِكُمْ قَالَ اللَّهُ مِنْ قَبْلِ. This is how Allah has said, كَذَلِكُمْ قَالَ اللَّهُ مِنْ قَبْلِ. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said before. And this, the ayah which I have just recited, ayah number 5, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already said that we have given you this victory. This victory is a test for you, test for the believers. They will enter into paradise because they obeyed you, and they punish the hypocrites because they disobeyed you. فَسَيَقُولُونَ بَلْ تَحْسُدُونَنَا. Then they would say, the hypocrites people, these people who are left behind, then they would say, بَلْ تَحْسُدُونَنَا. Why don't you allow us to go with you? Because you are jealous of us. Because we will share you share with you in the war booty. So that is hasad with you. You don't want us to take this war booty. You got hasad. They would say to you, "Bal tahsudunana." No, you got jealousy with us. The answer is, "Bal kanu la yafqahuna illa qalila." The answer is no. They don't understand except a little. They don't understand except a little. They understand from deen. What they understand from deen? As long as you got nothing to do, no sacrifice, no fighting, then we are with you. If there is a fighting, if there is any sacrifice, no, we are not with you. This is what they understand of deen. So this is what this ayah means. بَلْ كَانُوا لَا يَفْقَهُونَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. They don't understand except a little, very little of deen. What is that little of deen? What benefits them? They say, oh, this is deen. As among the jokes, they say that the person is saying to his friend, "Why don't you fast?" "Oh, it is very lengthy and this and that. I can't fast." "All right. Why don't you have night prayer?" "Qiyamul Layl." No, it is tiresome and I can't do that." "What about iftar with us?" He said, "Do you think that I am totally kafir?" "Yes, inshallah I will have iftar with you." So what is pleasing to them, they will accept it. Other they will not accept it. بَلْ كَانُوا لَا يَفْقَهُونَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. And see this way of Al-Quran, it is a conversation. They will say to you this, answer this. Then they will say to you, answer this. It is a dialogue form. قُلْ لِلْمُخَلَّفِينَ مِنَ الْأَعْرَابِ سَتُدْعَوْنَ إِلَىٰ قَوْمٍ أُولِي بَأْسٍ شَدِيدٍ تُقَاتِلُونَهُمْ أَوْ يُسْلِمُونَ فَإِن تُطِيعُوا يُؤْتِكُمُ اللَّهُ أَجْرًا حَسَنًا وَإِن تَتَوَلَّوْا كَمَا تَوَلَّيْتُم مِّن قَبْلُ يُعَذِّبْكُمْ عَذَابًا أَلِيمًا. Say to those who remain behind of the Bedouins, you will be called to face a people of great military might. You may fight them, or they will submit. So if you obey, Allah will give you a good reward. But if you turn away as you turned away before, He will punish you with a painful punishment. Now another saying, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, say to these people who lagged behind, who remained behind, who did not go with you to Al-Hudaybiyah, to Makkah, say to them, سَتُدْعَوْنَ إِلَىٰ قَوْمٍ أُولِي بَأْسٍ شَدِيدٍ. Another expedition is coming. And after Khaybar, there would be another expedition. But we have to meet people with military might. قَوْمٍ أُولِي بَأْسٍ شَدِيدٍ تُقَاتِلُونَهُمْ. You have to either fight them, or يُسْلِمُونَ or they surrender. And if they don't surrender, then we have just to fight them. فَإِن تُطِيعُوا. If you obey the Prophet at that time, يُؤْتِكُمُ اللَّهُ أَجْرًا حَسَنًا. Allah will give you a great reward. وَإِن تَتَوَلَّوْا كَمَا تَوَلَّيْتُم مِّن قَبْلُ. And if you remain behind, if you turn away as we have turned away that time of Hudaybiyah, يُعَذِّبْكُمْ عَذَابًا أَلِيمًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to punish you a painful punishment. Now in this ayah, there is some difference of opinion. Say to them that you are going to be invited to a people of a great might to fight them. Who are these people? Some people say, no, this is an indication to the fighting which happened with Romans and with Persians during the time of Sayyidina Abu Bakr, Sayyidina Umar, Sayyidina Usman. At that time, there would be a time when you would be asked to fight great people with great might. At that time, either you obey the Prophet or you don't obey. If you obey the Prophet ﷺ, Jannah is open for you. And if you don't, again punishment is there for you. About those people whom you are fighting, they got only two choices. Either they surrender and they say that we become Muslim. Muslimun, they become Muslim. Or they must be subjected to your swords. You must fight them. Now this ayah makes it very clear that what is the what is the Islamic policy about fighting the non-Muslim. The non-Muslims, there are two categories. Mushrikeen and Ahlul Kitab. Mushrikeen and Ahlul Kitab. لم يكن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين منفكين حتى تأتيهم البينة رسول من الله يتلو صحفا مطهرة. And then the other ayah in the same, إن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين في نار جهنم خالدين فيها أولئك هم شر البرية. So kuffar people, they are two types. Ahlul Kitab, they are the Jews and the Christians, and Mushrikeen, the idol worshipper of Arabia. What is the difference between two of them? As far as the treatment is concerned, the treatment of the Ahlul Kitab and the treatment of Mushrikeen. Those people who were the idol worshippers in Arabia, our Prophet ﷺ brought a direct message to them. He was commissioned among them. He was one of them. And Allah SWT wanted to declare Arabian Peninsula as an abode for Islam, a cradle for Islam. So this is why the Mushrikeen, the idol worshippers of Arabian Peninsula, the Quraysh people, all the other tribes, they got no choice. Either they enter into Islam, or when fighting comes, then it is the duty for the believers not to run away from the fighting. There was no choice for them to give jizya, to give the poll tax and save their lives. Here comes the difference between Ahlul Kitab and Mushrikeen. As far as Ahlul Kitab, Jews and Christians are concerned, yes, if they don't want to become Muslim, there is, the choice is there. They can live in an Islamic state by giving a poll tax, a jizya. So that is known to the Muslims and to the non-Muslims throughout the history. The only difference is that who are Ahlul Kitab? They are just Jews and Christians. The Prophet ﷺ said about the Magians, Al-Majus, the fire worshippers, Sunnu bihim sunnata Ahlul Kitab, ghayra nakihi nisa'ihim wa akili dhaba'ihim. That treat them like Ahlul Kitab, but with this difference that don't marry their women and don't eat their zabih. So what is left? One thing is left, that they can live with, after paying jizya, they can live in an Islamic state. So, Ahlul Kitab are not only Jews and Christians. Some people are like them, they are treated like them. So they can say, Shibhu Ahlul Kitab. And this is why there was a great discussion about those countries which are conquered by the Muslims, like India. India, there was a great Muslim empire, starting from Mamluk, and then it comes to Mughal. So it was a long period of about 800 years when Muslims were ruling. So how should they treat the people of India? They were Hindus and they were idol worshippers. So the ulama, the scholars of India at that time, they have discussed this point. And they have said that according to Quran, in min ummatin illa khala fiha nazir. There is no ummah that a warner, but a warner has come to them. وَلِكُلِّ ummatin rasul. For each ummah, one rasul has come. They say, how could it happen that such a great country like India, there was no messenger at all? Allah SWT did not send any prophet to them at all. It can't be. There should be a prophet. There should be many prophets. So this is why they say that those books which are inherited by the Hindus, like Ved, there are four books of Ved, Rig Ved. And so these books, Ved books, they are their books. And if you read them, you will find the impression of Tawheed in these books. From where this impression of Tawheed has come? Because when they worship different idols, they say these idols are the manifestation of one God. So they don't actually worship that statue, that idol, but they say this idol is a manifestation of that God, to whom they say Om, for example. So it means there were prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why in their books, in the olden books, there is this Tawheed is there. And more than that, there is predictions. The word prediction are prophecies. They are prophecies about our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Very clearly, which says that he would enter into the sacred town with 10,000 warriors, and he would be sitting at the back of a she-camel. These type of words which are coming in Ved, what is that? It is a description of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam entering into Makkah with 10,000 Sahaba, and he was sitting at the back of a she-camel. So all these writings show that there were prophets of Allah. Some people, they have said about Gautam Buddha. Now Gautam Buddha, that is in our language it is called Gautam Buddha, but in English it is known as Buddha, as Buddha. So in Arabic it is said Buza. Now in his deliberations and teachings, again the same thing is there. He is asking for good things to do, not to kill anybody, not even to kill the insects. So there are good things in his teaching as well. There is the impression of Tawheed as well in it. There was no idols of Buddha at all during, just after his death. Nobody got these statues of Buddha. That was later introduced. And he belonged to, and he was, where he was born, that is a village near Banaras, which is now called Banarsi in India. Banaras. That is not, this is known as Kapal. Kapal Dev or Kapal Dev, Kapal. So some ulama, they have said that the Quranic expression of a prophet whose name is Zulkifl, and people, they always discuss who is Zulkifl. Zulkifl. In Arabic there is no pa. So this couple becomes kafal. Pa will turn into fa. It can turn into fa easily. So they say, why not this person, this Gautam Buddha might be Zulkifl. So that is one opinion. I am not saying that it has been proved. But what they say, that there might be many prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in India. This is why so many good teachings are there in their books. So this is why the ulama of India throughout the ages, they said that Hindus should be treated like Ahlul Kitab. Ahlul Kitab. With these two conditions, as we have said, they can pay jizya, but you can't marry their woman, you can't eat their zabiya. Of course, they don't do zabiya at all. Hindus, they don't believe in zabiya. They are all vegetarians. So that what they have said. So Ahlul Kitab are not just two groups, Jews and Christians. All other people everywhere in the world, wherever you will find, even the followers of the fire worshipper, we have already said about the Majus. In China, the followers of Confucius, they might be following a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but his teachings are perverted or changed completely. Here some people they say, oh, you always speak about jizya. And they say, oh, you are asking the non-Muslims to pay jizya. What is jizya? Jizya is a small amount. And the Khalifa or Sultan is going to fix it according to the status of the man. So the men will pay such amount, maybe 1 dinar. On the other hand, if you are a Muslim, then you have to pay 2.5% zakat every year. So if you compare jizya with zakat, Muslims have to pay more than what Hindus or non-Muslims are paying. So that is the fact. And then they got this benefit that as long as you pay jizya, you are not asked to do any military service at all. You are exempted. You are exempted because you are paying jizya only to save you from joining into a fighting force. So this ambiguity or misconception about jizya should be removed. That it was, though it was a tax, but the Muslims, they used to pay a higher tax. A higher tax. And I mean zakat. If you just compare the two amounts, you will find that the amount Muslims used to pay was a lot higher. So here let us coming back to this ayah. So there was no choice for the idol worshippers, only the idol worshippers, mushrikeen of Arabia, even Peninsula. There was no choice except either to become Muslim or to be fought back. So this principle is not going to be applied everywhere in the world, no. We know that later there was always this choice of living in an Islamic state for non-Muslims as long as they pay jizya. Nobody was forced to become Muslim. And as far as Arabia is concerned, yes, because our Prophet ﷺ directly came to them, delivered the message, then the hujjah or the authority has been maintained against them and they can't deny it. Now let us take the last ayah of this passage. ليس على الأعمى حرج ولا على الأعرج حرج ولا على المريض حرج ومن يطع الله ورسوله يدخله جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار ومن يتولى يعظمه عذابا أليما. There is not upon the blind any guilt, or upon the lame any guilt, or upon the ill any guilt for remaining behind. And whoever obeys Allah and His Messenger, He will admit him to gardens beneath which rivers flow. But whoever turns away, He will punish him with a painful punishment. Now this ayah just to show that when you are invited for fighting, not all the people have to join the fighting ranks. No, the people with excuses, like a blind person, like a lame person. So these things which are always with these two types of men. And the third, a sick person, an ill person, it may be a temporary thing. A person is ill today and he is not ill tomorrow. So all three types of excuses are mentioned here. That nothing wrong with them, no guilt upon them if they don't join. The main thing is the person who obeys Allah and His Prophet, Allah is going to admit him into gardens tajri min tahtiha al-anhar, under which the rivers are going to flow. وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّى يُعَذِّبُ عَذَابًا أَلِيمًا. And the person who turns away, Allah is going to give him or punish him a very painful punishment. So by this we have covered 17 ayah of Surah Al-Fath, and inshallah in the remaining 2 Saturdays in Ramadan we will cover the remaining ayat till ayah number 29th of Surah Al-Fath, which is the last ayah of Surah Al-Fath. وَجَزَاكُمُ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا وَصَلَّى اللَّهُ تَعَالَى عَلَى نَبِيِّنَا مُحَمَّدٍ وَعَلَى آلِهِ وَصَحْبِهِ أَجْمَعِينَ. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.